Hi guys, it's Cindy aka Disney Queen. I can't believe that we are on our last day of Vlogmas. Well, 12 days of Christmas. It is day 12, guys. Can you believe it? I thought that because this was the last day that I would tell a Christmas story. And my Christmas story is our very first Christmas at Disney. And I'm gonna show you my scrapbook that I did after we went on our first trip. I think by the time that we had gone to Disney for Christmas, we had been maybe 2 times before that. But I had heard so much about Christmas at Disney that I really wanted to do it at least once in a lifetime. I didn't know then that it would become a place that I would go several times. And I actually took a second trip to Disney at Christmas time. But the very first time that we went, I'm gonna pull out this is my scrapbook. That's how thick it is. That's why I said this could be story time. Our first time going at Christmas time was in 2001. And this was a very special trip because it was all of my children and my husband and myself, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we stayed at the Contemporary Resort. I can't tell you how it was that it was possible for me to get a good rate for us to stay at the Contemporary, but because there were 5 in our family, it made a lot of sense because it had 2 full-size beds and then a pull-out bed that someone could sleep on. And at the time, my kids were still in their early teens, I want to say, and so that worked out perfectly. I think my son slept on a little sofa bed. So the other thing I like about this particular trip was that, I don't know if you can see, I'm going to do pictures of everything later on, but that is my whole family in a photo. My son does not like to take pictures at all. So the fact, and even if you see the close-up, you can tell he really didn't want to take the picture then, but he took it because mom asked. And so this is a really special trip. Once I had planned the trip, we actually rode down in a van that we had at the time, and it was the only time that I can say I did not like to start my vacation. What basically happened is we got on I-4. We were almost at Disney. I had made reservations for us to eat at Ohana because you know Ohana is my favorite place in the world to eat. And we were this close, got on I-4, and our van broke down. And we had not told the kids that we were staying on property. As a matter of fact, I want to say this was the first time we stayed on property, so this might have been our second trip to Disney. We hadn't told the kids we were staying on property, and it was supposed to be a surprise. And when the van broke down, we had to call for help, and so they heard that we were staying on property. At the time, they were all really upset because we were like in the middle of rush hour traffic, and just trying to get over to the side so nobody would get hurt. That was an issue. But someone, I want to say from a truck that was going past, or I'm not really sure now, it's been so long, that they gave us help, and then we were able to call. I don't even think we had a cell phone then. We might have. We were able to call someone to come get the van, and then Disney sent a van to pick us up to take us to our hotel. And that's when the kids found out that we were staying on Disney property. So it turned the trip completely around. Unfortunately, it meant that we couldn't go to Ohana for dinner because we missed our reservations. But it still was a magical trip. So we were also there during the time that it was the 100 Years of Magic celebration. And so we went to Hollywood Studios. That's when I think they had just put up the Sorcerer's Hat. Now I'm gonna have to say, guys, the Sorcerer's Hat was not my favorite thing at Hollywood Studios, only because I loved walking onto Hollywood Studios and seeing the Chinese theater, and so when they put the hat in front of it, I didn't like it as much. But I know a lot of people loved it, and I thought it was cute for the 100 years because it was a big Sorcerer Mickey. So like on my first page, I'm hoping you can see all of this. Like I said, I'm gonna put bigger pictures in. It has what the front of Magic Kingdom looked like, what Sorcerer Mickey's hat looked like. That was one of the windows at, I want to say at Magic Kingdom. On this page I have park maps from that trip, and another picture of the 100 Years of Magic sign. I have a picture of the castle, my favorite thing to see when we first get to Magic Kingdom. At the time, they still had Toontown up and Minnie Mouse's house and Mickey's house, and so I have pictures of my girls at Minnie's house inside. I really miss that. I wish that there was a way that they had kept that and incorporated that. And then I have some more pictures, and that's me inside Minnie's house. Let's see. My girls meeting Mickey at Mickey's house. And that's some more pictures of them. So if I'm not mistaken, Magic Kingdom was the first park we went into that particular day. There is just something about Main Street, and it was the first time we got to see Main Street decorated for Christmas. And at the time, it's changed since then, but at the time, Magic Kingdom's Main Street had the garland that ran all the way across from one side of one store to the other side. And these pictures aren't the best pictures in the world, but see, that's what it used to look like. And I think it still looks like this at the Magic Kingdom in California. I'll have to ask my cousin. But that was the first time we had seen the decorations and the big tree, and it was just so much fun. I was like, this is the only time I want to come to Disney. The weather was good. It was a little chilly, but that's fine with me because I can't stand the heat. One of the things that we always do when we go on a trip to Disney is my girls try on Disney hats. And my youngest daughter, she's probably gonna kill me when she sees this, she had tried on a bunch of hats, so I did a page just with all the different hats that she tried on the trip. We always do that. My oldest daughter's favorite character is Jasmine, and I want to say this was the second time that we got to meet Jasmine. And this was, I believe, at Epcot, and we got to meet Jasmine. It was also the first time that we had a character breakfast at Epcot, and we went to the one in Norway. I cannot think of the name of it. I'm gonna put it here because I'm afraid I'm gonna say it wrong too. So we had breakfast with Jasmine. It was just the girls and I don't know what the boys did that day. We had breakfast with Jasmine, and I think we saw Cinderella. No, we didn't see Cinderella. We saw Ariel. No, we saw Jasmine and Snow White and Sleeping Beauty. I don't know if I have pictures of them. We also went to, they used to have the Toontown Hall. I don't know if you guys remember that, but we went to see Cinderella at the Toontown Hall, and we got pictures with one of the mice. So that's my girls with Cinderella. And then that's me with my namesake. This picture is another view of the castle, and I had heard about Tinkerbell flying across the castle. I have yet to see Tinkerbell fly across the castle because now my family doesn't like to be there when the fireworks are going on, or at least not close. And so I did a picture with the castle and with Tinkerbell. And can you guys believe I didn't meet Tinkerbell until last year for the first time? Oh, and then here's another family picture, and my son has the same look on his face, but hey, he took the picture. And that's us in front of the castle. And I don't know if you can see my husband, that is how he looks when we go to Disney. He usually has a backpack and then a camera bag. I can't even see. And then that's another picture of us. That's me in front of the castle with my children. We went to Epcot, and I want to say this is a year where I said I was going to tell a story about when we went to Epcot. That was when the characters used to walk around just randomly, and you would follow them, and then they stop at a stop, and then you would take pictures with them and get their autograph and everything. And we were at Epcot early one morning. We got pictures taken with Daisy and Donald. And I don't know if you can always take pictures with Daisy and Donald. We saw Tweedledee and Tweedledum. And the funny thing is, when we were staying at the Contemporary, we saw Tweedledee and Tweedledum one morning just randomly walking through the Contemporary store. And there wasn't children or anything around. They were just playing in the back part of where our hotel balcony was. And we just watched them. They were running around playing with each other. They were running through the grass and the shrubs and stuff. It was the funniest thing in the world. And it was just like, oh my goodness, they're not in the park. They're like running around the hotel. That was the best thing ever when they used to do stuff like that. My oldest daughter loves Pooh and Tigger, and this is where they used to meet. And I want to say this was at Hollywood Studios, and they used to have these little trailers that they would have a little awning over, and you would meet them there. So we met, I think that year we met a bunch of characters. This is also the year that we went to Crystal Palace for lunch. I want to say we went for lunch, and my oldest daughter loves Pooh, so she got to see Pooh. And then my youngest daughter loves Eeyore, so she got to meet Eeyore, although I'm not sure if I have a picture of her with Eeyore. I think I do, but that's them at the Crystal Palace, and that's me with Pooh. And that's us with Tigger. And then with Piglet. Ah, yes, and we did get to end with Eeyore at the Crystal Palace. And my oldest daughter with Eeyore. And then my youngest daughter with Eeyore. You can barely see her because Eeyore is in front of the photo. That was a really great time. We never went back to Crystal Palace again, but we really enjoyed that. At the time, it used to be called Downtown Disney, and this is what it looked like then. And I loved going to the Lego area to see the Legos, how they built them up. And they used to have a spaceship out there. I don't know if that's still out there. I know the dragon is still out there. I have another one. I know the dragon is still out there. And then, is the snoring man still out there? We always would take a picture with the guy who was sitting down asleep snoring in front of the Lego store. One place that we used to go to a lot when we would go to Disney, and we went, no exception was this time when we went for Christmas, is to Chef Mickey's. And here are my girls. I'm trying to get the glare out. That's my girls with Chef Mickey. I mean, at Chef Mickey's. And that is us. We got to see Chip and Dale. And Dale was giving everybody a big hug. We got to see Minnie Mouse in all of her glory. And I'm sure we got to see Mickey too, but I don't know why I don't have that here. And then at the time, Hollywood Studios wasn't called Hollywood Studios. It was called MGM, and I loved going and seeing all the movie type things that was going on. And so that was MGM at the time. And let's see, what is this? Oh wow, guys, this was when they used to have the backlot tour, and this was the backlot decorated up for Christmas. And that's the front part of MGM. And we got to see Osborne's Spectacle of Lights. Oh my goodness, that is when Osborne, this was even before they moved it from the back lot and they just had it up on the section where it had all the different streets. We got to see it when it was on the back lot, and you could walk on the back lot, and all of the houses were decorated with the lights, and you could walk through as if you were walking through someone's neighborhood. And that is my fondest memory of that trip, because it was cold that day, and so we had to get out hats and coats and gloves, and we were walking on the back lot looking at all the different lights, like there was one house that was for the Golden Girls. So the Golden Girls house was back there, and we got to walk up close to it, and there was Christmas music playing. There was arch music, lights going over our heads as we were walking. And then when we came back out to the area that had all the different streets, the snow was falling. That, I had a blanket around me, I had a hat and gloves and stuff on, and we were just walking through. It was quiet. It sounded almost like, you know, when it snows at Christmas time. That was the best memory. Like, the whole trip was great, but I will never forget that. And I am so sad that those lights are not there anymore. I think Disney needs to figure out a way to re-add those lights again. This is, I think, Under the Tree at Magic Kingdom, and it's Walt and Mickey. Like I said, I'm gonna put close-ups so you can see it. Every time we go on a trip, we always try to go and see some of the hotels decorated. And for the first time, we got to see the gingerbread house at the Grand Floridian. We even went over to Animal Kingdom. As a matter of fact, I want to say Animal Kingdom had just opened up that year, and we got to see Animal Kingdom for the first time. And the Animal Kingdom Lodge had been built and had opened up. And so we even went over to the lodge and looked around. And that was before I had ever gone to Boma. We always went to Downtown Disney, like I said, and one of the things, and I think it's still there, one of the things we would always do with my oldest daughter, because she loved Winnie the Pooh so much, they have this one little section where there's a Tigger and Winnie the Pooh sitting on a log, and so we always tried to take a picture of her with Winnie the Pooh and Tigger. We didn't do that on the last trip, but I do think it's still there. I don't think this is over here anymore, but over at Bugs Life area, they had like a not a park, but an area where kids could go to play. Well, my kids were too old for that part, but right in front of it is where they used to do the Bugs Life meet and greet, and that's my youngest daughter with Bugs Life. And I always said her legs were as skinny as his legs were. That is the end of that book. But as a bonus, I also thought I would pull out my scrapbook for when we went the second time to Disney at Christmas time. And it was the first time that we stayed at Pop Century. And that was a great trip. We actually took my little cousin with us. That was her first time at Disney. And she got to hang out with the Disney family that like got up early in the morning and stayed at the park stayed out all day and then just crashed at night. I don't think she was ready for that, but I think she had a good time, and she said to me several times since then that she's ready to go back and try it again. But I'm not sure how long the hotel had been open, but I loved all of the icons. It reminded me of younger days. Look at Lady. We had 2 connecting rooms at Pop because my son, so he did go back for the second time for Christmas time. And when we came back from the room one night, they had taken my daughter's stuffed animals and placed them in different places, and they did the little towel animals. Our last trip, they didn't do tile animals, and I don't know, you have to tell me, have you guys gone and they've done tile animals in the hotel rooms? But at the time, our mousekeeping did that and like played around with the little stuffed animals. This is some more pictures from that, from us walking around Pop Century, just looking at all the different stuff. And that's my son sleeping. I told you guys that the People Mover is my favorite ride at Magic Kingdom, and it is. So I did a scrapbook page on it. Let's see. This is me at the castle. And then I even took pictures of the murals. It was that year we went, it wasn't as crowded the time we went. We like went at the early part of December, and so we didn't have to wait on a lot of lines, and there wasn't a crowd of people. Our next trip is going to be a little different because I hear that it's crowded all the time now. This is us trying out the Beverly. Do I have a picture of somebody? Oh yeah, that's my face. Tasting the Beverly. Like I said, we always have to try hats, so we even got my cousin to try hats on. I know everybody doesn't like Journey to Imagination, but I love that area. I love Figment's ride. And I love how you can play with the music things and stuff when you come out of the ride area. I love Epcot. My family's favorite park is Epcot, and World Showcase is our favorite part of that. And that's when they had the hat on the side of the Epcot ball. Do you guys remember that? They had the statues that would do a show while you were at Epcot. I think in front of France. I missed them. They were really, really good. I think this was when Wonders of Life was even still open. And we always try to take a picture in front of the little Paris, whatever that little round thing is, when you go to France. And that's all of us. The kids went on this ride. I cannot remember the name of it, but I've never gone on it. I don't think I'll be going on it. We rode Test Tracks, and that's our picture from Test Tracks. And that was before they had redid it, and it had the dummies and the. I kind of missed that theme because it reminded me more of an actual Test Tracks. And we always look at the cars and things when we come out of Test Tracks and get in and take pictures and dream about our, favorite car. This was also at Epcot. And at the land, they used to have this fountain in the middle of the room. I don't know if you guys remember that. That's from that picture. And when I was talking about memories in one of my tags, I talked about how we got to see Winnie the Pooh, and that's my girl's favorite characters, Winnie the Pooh and Eeyore, and that's the pictures from that trip. This is when they had Sights and Sounds. Do you guys remember that? I think it was with Jim Carrey. Was it with Jim Carrey? I'm not sure. I know the seats were always broken. At the time, they had a meet and greet with The Incredibles, because I think The Incredibles had come out that year, and so this was us just before while we were waiting to meet The Incredibles. And then that's us meeting The Incredibles. And that was at MGM. And then I love, like I said, I love Epcot. I love all the different pavilions. My son's favorite pavilion is Japan, so I did a page about Japan. And then I did one about the USA, and that's us eating the famous turkey legs. Yes, we like the turkey legs. I think that year I got to see Blair Underwood, that's my favorite, do the Christmas show that comes on at night, candlelight something. Can't think of the name. We've never actually gone inside and sat down, but we stood outside and watched it. And then this was us at Animal Kingdom. That was my cousin's favorite part of the whole trip. She loved Animal Kingdom, and that was the tree. And I love the Tree of Life. I love all of the details on it. That was probably that's one of my favorite things to do. And then the Harambe Village. We always go over to Dino Land, but we don't ever get on any of the rides. So maybe next time I might try one of the rides. But yeah, I did a page on it because I think it's a neat looking area. I'm just not sure about getting on Primeval World. And we even went to the what is it, Pangini Forest area. So I did an animal page on that. And a lot of my decorations and stuff was from this I used to be on Walt Disney World Info's Disney boards, and we used to do scrapbook swaps, and that's how I actually met some of my really good friends, because we all used to swap together different pages, emblems and things. And so a lot of these I didn't make, but other people made, and I would get them in a swap. This was my favorite, the Jam and Jungle Parade. I really miss them having a parade at Animal Kingdom. Well, I miss them having parades at a lot of the parks. I think they need to bring that back. You need to bring that back, Disney. Almost done. No trip is complete without going to Ohana. This time we didn't do it on our first trip. We did it like at the end of our trip. But that is my spot. I love Ohana. And we did Chef Mickey's. And took my cousin for the first time. Some more pictures of the decorations at Christmas time at Epcot. And the storytellers and the Christmas trees. And the monorail. I love riding on the monorail. I love all of the transportation, so I did a transportation page. You gotta go to Grand Floridian, so there's me. There's us at the Grand Floridian again, and seeing the gingerbread house. And walking around the ground, and we always would take a picture with the girls in the carriage. And then this is us leaving that day. And everybody was asleep before we even got out of Florida, except for Nikki, my youngest daughter. She pretended like she was asleep so that I could have the picture. So that is my Disney scrapbook. And I hope you guys have enjoyed the videos. I've had so much fun doing them. I can't believe that the 12 days are over. I can't believe I'm getting ready to open my last box. I can't believe this video is so long. Okay, so number 12, the last one in the series. Let's see what's in number 12. Guys, why there's so many of her? Come on, Disney. Like, I don't need any more queen socks. Look, I'm gonna wear them, but well, guys, It's been fun. That's my 12 days. I hope if you enjoyed this video, I hope you've enjoyed all of the videos. If you have, hit that like button and give me a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Subscribe. There's going to be lots of new content coming in January. And if you want to know when that happens, I just need you to hit that notification button. Until then, I hope you all have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I will see you in 2019. Have a blessed day.